Good day, everyone. I am Carmelotes, and together with my group mates, we will be discussing the philosophies of education, including their key concepts, historical foundations, trends and issues, paradigm shifts, and other relevant topics. Now let's go to the next page. What is educational philosophy? It is a framework for guiding educational practices and policies. Philosophies of education guide how we think about teaching and learning. They offer different approaches to help students learn and grow in meaningful ways. Also, it shapes how educators approach instruction, curriculum development, classroom management, and the overall educational experience. There are common philosophies of education. The first one is perennialism. It focuses on timeless knowledge and ideas. In this philosophy, lessons should center on great works of literature, important historical events, and fundamental mathematical concepts because these subjects help develop critical thinking, reasoning, and moral understanding. Example, a school's core curriculum that includes works by Plato, Aristotle, and Shakespeare, aiming to impart enduring knowledge and critical thinking skills. Next is essentialism. It focuses on a core curriculum of essential knowledge and skills. In this philosophy, teachers should give greater emphasis on the development of basic skills like reading, writing, and arithmetic. Example, a rigorous curriculum focused on foundational subjects such as mathematics, literature, and history with standardized tests measuring proficiency in these areas. Next is progressivism. This philosophy advocates for learning by doing, critical thinking, and problem solving. Education is student centered with a focus on real world experiences and preparing students to be active and engaged citizens. Example, a classroom where students engage in hands-on activities such as building prototypes or conducting experiments to connect learning with real-life applications. We also have constructivism. Knowledge is constructed through students' experiences and interaction with the environment. This philosophy believes that learners construct their own understanding through experiences. It emphasizes hands-on, active learning with teachers acting as facilitators to guide exploration and discovery. Example, students working in groups to solve problems and create presentations, allowing them to actively engage with and construct their understanding of the material. Okay, so now let's go to the next one. We have humanism. Humanism emphasizes that education should focus on the development of the whole person, emphasizing emotional well-being and personal growth, and it also values a student-centered approach where learning is personalized and aligned with the learner's interests, needs, and experiences. Lastly is behaviorism. It emphasizes that learning is change in behavior, and it can be shaped through reinforcement and conditioning. The teacher directs learning through positive reinforcement and rewards to shape desired behaviors. Example, the lessons are structured and organized with clear objectives using rewards and consequences to manage behavior and learning. Each philosophy mentioned offers a unique perspective on what educational should accomplish and how it should be delivered. In practice, many educators and institutions blend elements from multiple philosophies to suit their educational goals and the needs of their students.
Good day, everyone. This is in continuation to the philosophies of education, historical foundations of educational philosophy. There are three ancient philosophies. First is Socrates, the Socratic method. Socratic method is when a teacher is asking questions that stimulate critical thinking rather than providing answers. For instance, in a classroom discussion on ethics, a teacher might ask students to debate the nature of justice without giving direct answers. Next is Plato. Plato's ideal society includes education that prepares leaders by focusing on philosophical and ethical training. In modern times, this can be seen in programs emphasizing civic education and moral philosophy. Third is Aristotle. The Nicomachean ethics is the emphasis on practical ethics. This can be applied in education by incorporating real-life problem-solving tasks and ethical dilemmas into the curriculum. Next is medical philosophies. First is St. Augustine's The Integration of Faith in Learning. Modern religious schools often blend secular subjects with religious instructions, reflecting Augustine's approach of integrated faith and reason. Next is Thomas Aquinas, The Scholastic Method. This involves structured debate, create, and reasoning, similar to how university philosophy courses might use Socratic questioning to explore the theological concept. Next is the Enlightenment thinkers. In Enlightenment thinkers, there is John Locke's Some Thoughts Concerning Education. Locke's ideas about shaping character through education are reflected in modern character education programs that focus on developing virtues such as honesty and responsibility. Then Jean-Jacques Rousseau's Emily. Rousseau's emphasis on natural development can be seen in modern Montessori schools, which allow children to learn that at their own pace and explore their interests. Let's go to theoretical foundations. There are four examples of theoretical foundations. First is realism. In realism, it emphasizes a specific approach to learning where understanding is developed through observation, experimentation, and the study of natural world. Realism in education is grounded in the belief that knowledge is based on the physical world and empirical analytical evidence. Example of realism in science education, it emphasizes empirical data and experiments. For instance, in a high school biology class, students might conduct experiments to understand cell biology rather than learning facts from a textbook. Next is idealism. In idealism, it emphasizes study of classical texts and timeless truths, often with a focus on philosophical and ethical questions. Example to this classical education that includes study great works and of literature and philosophy, such as Shakespeare's plays and Plato's dialogues to understand the universal truths and moral principles. Third is pragmatism. Pragmatism asserts that the value of knowledge lies in its practical application and effectiveness in solving real problems. It emphasizes experiential learning and problem solving over rote memorization with a focus of the usefulness of knowledge in practical context. Example is project-based learning, where students work on real-world problems such as designing a community garden or creating a business plan to apply knowledge practically and develop problem-solving skills. Fourth is existentialism in education emphasizes individual freedom, choice, and self-direct learning. It holds that education should help students find personal meaning and authentic self-expression, focusing on personal growth rather than adherence to a fixed curriculum. Example of existentialism is self-directed learning projects where students choose their own topics to research and present, reflecting their personal interests and values used rather than following a strict curriculum.
Hello everyone, this is Sweetie Migala Castillo, and today we will tackle about the trends and issues in philosophies of education. So when we talk about trends and issues in philosophies of education, we are looking at how the ideas and belief about the purpose, goals, and methods of education are changing and evolving over time. So it's about understanding the key challenges and opportunities that are shaping how we think about education in the 21st century. So first, we have a technology in education. So technology is changing how we teach and learn. So there's a push to use digital tools and resources effectively in the classroom. So when we talk about technology in education, we're referring to the use of digital tools and resources to enhance and support teaching and learning. So This encompasses a wide range of applications, from simple classroom equipment like projectors and whiteboards to complex software applications and online platforms. Next, we have globalization. Schools are incorporating more global perspectives, recognizing that understanding different cultures and global issues is important. Globalization has dramatically changed how we think about education. Schools are no longer just preparing students for local jobs and communities. So they are recognizing the interconnectedness of the world and the importance of understanding different cultures and global issues. So for example, understanding the different cultures. Students are learning about the costumes, traditions, and values of people from different countries. Next is personalized learning. This trend is about tailoring education to meet individual student needs and interests rather than a one-size-fits-all approach. So personalized learning is a revolutionary approach to education that shifts away from the traditional one-size-fits-all model. So instead, it focuses on tailoring learning experiences to meet the unique needs, interests, and learning styles of each individual student. So the core idea behind personalized learning is that every student learns differently. Some students might grasp concept quickly, while the others might need more time and support. So some might be visual learners, while the others might prefer hands-on activities. Fourth is the equity and inclusion. So they're focused on making education accessible and fair for all students, regardless of their background or circumstances. So equity and inclusion in education means ensuring that all students have equal opportunities to learn and succeed regardless of their background, race, ethnicity, gender, and socioeconomic status, disability, or any factor that might create barriers to their education. So it's about creating learning environment where every student feels welcome, valued, and supported. So this is the last part of trends and issues. So sustainability education, teaching students about environmental issues and sustainability is becoming more important as we face global environmental challenges. So, sustainability education is about equipping students with the knowledge, skills, and values needed to understand and address environmental issues and create a more sustainable future. It's not just about learning facts about the environment, but about developing a deeper understanding of how human actions impact the planet and how we can make more responsible choices. So, here's what the sustainability education encompasses. So, environmental literacy, understanding how ecosystems work, the impact of human activities of the environment, and the interconnectedness of the environmental issues. We have the critical thinking and problem solving. So developing the ability to analyze the environmental problem, evaluate solutions, and propose actions to address these challenges. So for example, science class, they are studying climate change. Instead of just learning about the scientific causes of climate change, the class could also explore the social and economic impact. So they could research how climate change affect different communities around the world, including those who are most vulnerable to its effect. So by integrating sustainability education into the curriculum, schools can empower students to become informed and engaged citizens who are committed to creating a more sustainable future.
Good day everyone. Today I'm going to discuss about the paradigm shifts of the philosophies of education. Paradigm shifts focuses on the shifting from the teacher leading the class to students being more involved in their own learning. This is what we call the student-centered learning. It's about making learning more relevant and engaging for them. In the competency-based assessment, we assess students based on their skills and competencies. We also encourage students to participate actively in their learning through discussions, projects, and hands-on activities, rather than just passively listening to the teachers. An active learning rather than passive listening, students are encouraged to participate actively in their learning through discussions, projects, and hands on activities. Active learning is an educational approach where students are engaged directly in the learning process through activities and discussions rather than passively receiving information. This approach aims to make learning more interactive and participatory. The flexible curriculum are becoming more adaptable to fit the changing needs of students and society rather than sticking to a rigid set of topics. A flexible curriculum adapts to the evolving needs of students and society, allowing for adjustment based on current events, emerging knowledge, and individual students' interests.
Good day, everyone. Let me introduce myself first. I am Rubia from the Group 3 Reporter, and allow me to continue this topic. My topic is all about the other relevant issues in philosophies of education. Okay, philosophies of education, refers to additional topics of concerns that are significant within the field but may and universally agreed. These issues reflect ongoing debates and evolving perspective within philosophies of education, shaping how educators and theorists approach the goals, methods, and outcomes of educational practices. So there are three types of other relevant issues in philosophies of education. The first one is the mental health. The second one is teacher development. And the last one is the education policy. Mental health is the acknowledging and supporting students' emotional well-being is the crucial for effective learning and overcome success. So, in other words, mental health is the consideration of students and educators' psychological and emotional well-being as an part of the education process. It is also explore how educational environments, practices, and policies impact mental health and the emphasizing the importance of creating supportive and nurturing spaces of learning. So it is also emphasizes that mental health is not separate from education, but it is also deeply in how students learn, interact, and develop within education settings. So we moved on to the second, which is the teacher development. Teacher development is a continuous profession growth for teachers, ensures that they are equipped to provide high quality education and adapt the new knowledge. So it is also the process by which educators grow in their professional knowledge, skills, and works. These concepts emphasize both the practical aspects of teaching and the deeper philosophical understanding. So what it means to be an educator and also a dynamic process that is essential for creating effective, thoughtful, and compassionate educators who can positively impact. It is also the communities of education. Okay, the next one is the education policy. Education policy means it is the effective policies are essential for shaping the educational landscape, impacting everything from funding to curriculum and equity. So it is also the guidelines that govern educational systems. It is also explore educational policies from both theoretical and practical perspective, analyzing how policies align with various educational philosophies, values, goals. Okay, for example, there is No Child Left Behind Act or NCLB in the United States, enacted in 2001. This policy aimed to improve educational outcomes for all students with a particular focus or closing the achievement gap between different groups of students. So that's all about our report, and thank you and God bless.